Well, I like the fact that we have Katie Kesty and Marissa Toivonen back. They've played on the varsity 5 years, and they've got a lot of experience. I think the last 2 years they both placed in the state tournament, and so they played against just about every good golfer in the state. They played in about every big tournament that could be imagined for high school golf, and they played a lot of tournaments in the summer. So I really like the fact that both of those two girls are back. They're for girls golf you have 6 players that play varsity. You count 4 scorers, and last year both those two girls counted in our top 4 about 95% of the time. So I really like the fact that they're back, and I think the thing I like about them is when they get out on the golf course, they just play and they compete, and they get a couple bad holes and they just stay with it. And golf is one of those sports where when things get a little tough, a lot of times kids will get their head down and give up a little bit, but those two just kind of keep hanging in there and plug away, and they've been at it enough to know that a lot of times you can have a bad shot or bad hole, and if you stick with it, you can still turn things around. So I really like what I have in those two girls, and I think they're going to play really well this year, and they've played well in the past, and they've put a lot of time into it, and I think they're going to have really good years this year. But the nice thing about it is, like I said, they played quite a few years, and they played last year and the years before where we were runner-up, and they pretty much know one of the things that we want to do with our practices, and they know the time that they need to put in, and they put a lot of time in by themselves, and they over the weekend, and they get it here on their own to work on the parts of their game that they need to work on. So if they're hitting the ball well, they'll spend extra time on their short game or whatever it is that they need work on, and so that's nice. And the other thing I like about it is some of the kids that haven't played in the past as far as varsity, they can watch those two and get an idea of how to handle themselves as far as the amount of time that needs to be put in during the spring to improve. And that's a nice thing about each of the golfers that I have this year. That's you really don't want to shoot for a score compared to last year, the year before, but if every kid just tries to get a little bit better, usually you kind of max out as far as what your team can shoot, and whether that's really a great team of golfers where you win the state tournament, or if it's a team that maybe doesn't fare quite as well, but if they all keep getting better, that's as good as you can do for that year, and that's kind of what we want to do this year. Well, like I said, we have the 2 seniors, and then after that, Nicole Shammel's a sophomore, and she's as talented as any golfer that I've had over the years, and I would suspect as she plays some of these courses that she hasn't played in the past, as she gets the experience, she can shoot it really well. I mean, I've watched her out here at Mississippi National Golf, and she's maybe starting to realize it, but her ceiling of improvement is amazing. It just takes time, and I guess I look forward to the fact of some of these kids are good athletes and they put a little bit of time in, but you see a lot of improvement when they're younger, and then their improvement gets a little bit harder as they get older. So it kind of brings you back, and you realize how good of players you had and how much time it takes and work it takes with the younger players. But the gratifying thing is to see that even these younger players, as they keep working on things, it's always fun to see them improve. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of the progress with the younger kids.